Hello and welcome to this segment of Mobile Tech Videos, brought to you in part by Connection 2005 from XDA developers. Today we'll be talking about backing up your applications. Now before you ROM any device, maybe make a developmental change, trying your own application out, something you think may take serious system implementation, you should always consider backing up all of your applications and possibly your user data as well. To do that, we'll need a program such as Titanium Backup. Today we'll be talking about Titanium Backup as our preferred program. We've already installed it. This is the free edition found in the marketplace. So you will need to be rooted to do this. If you don't know how to root, go to my video on how to root Samsung Captivate, offered for Android 2.1 and 2.2, depending on your version there. So once we get launched, we're going to get that prompt for super user access. Be sure to allow that prompt. Once you've allowed the prompt, we'll be in the application and I'll allow you guys to get caught up and we'll go to the next step. Okay, once we've got the application open and you've caught up, we can see some detailed information about some of the internal SD cards, the database data, the external SD card, and a couple other things like that. Just some generic info to let you know where you stand. What we're going to do here is actually tab over to the Backup and Restore tab of the software, and we're going to get an overview of pretty much everything that we have installed on the phone. This phone's pretty fresh out of the box. It has been ROM'd, but we haven't really installed anything. So we'll see everything down to accounts, applications, Bluetooth settings, Wi-Fi settings, you name it, it's on here. So it gives you a good overview of what you got. Also, you can click an application and choose to quickly back it up, freeze it, uninstall it, run the application, or wipe data for the application, such as defaults and I guess if it was like a game, like game settings, things like that. Anyways, once we've got a basic overview of that and we're at the Backup and Restore tab, we want to talk about the options we have to back these applications up. To view those, click the Settings button, then click Batch. Once we click Batch, we get a ton of options. The user interface may be a little intimidating at first, but it's actually quite simplistic if you take the time to read the different columns for the buttons. In black, we've got our backup options. In blue, we've got our restore options. In green, we've got our move options. In yellow, we have our uninstall options. And in red, we have our delete options. At the top, we have green for verify all backups. It's a lighter neon type green versus the standard forest green that we see in the other options. Anyways, we're going to be focusing on backing up applications. We're going to get a number of different choices here. We've got backup all user apps, which would simply back up any application non-native to the phone, anything you've added. Backup all system data, that would actually back up anything you've ever done to the phone, including settings for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth pairings, anything at all. That would do that function there. Backup all user apps plus system data is a combination of the first two options. It's a get it all type of backup. You can do a force redo of your backups if you've already backed things up and you want to redo the entire thing. You can redo your old 3 days or newer backups. You can redo backups for newer app versions. So that way the software is smart enough to know that if you've upgraded to the latest version of Angry Birds and your last backup was from the previous version, it will go ahead and redo that for you by looking at the version info. We can we can back up all new apps and newer versions. So basically anything that we've added since our last backup. Well, I'll let you kind of look at all those. Well, the one we're going to be talking about is backing up all user apps plus system data. This will get absolutely everything in case we need to revert to this exact ROM with this exact modem and kernel, and we want to be able to restore everything just the way it is now before we maybe try our big developmental step such as a ROM or an application. So go ahead and click Backup all user apps plus data. From here, if you really wanted to omit a certain application, you could uncheck the box. For now, we want to go ahead and back everything up. So we have the select all already selected by default. Leave kill active apps open. That way it can kill any application before it backs it up. And you want to click run the batch operation. Now, depending on how many applications you have, it's going to take, anywhere from, a minute to 10 minutes. In probably the worst situation. We're going to let that run and we'll catch back up with you in a little bit once it completes. Okay, once we have completed, we'll notice that we're back at the regular screen. We can see everything. And you'll notice there's a lot of check marks on the side, and we will have backed up all of our stuff now. And we can see an option like restore, which means that it's obviously backed up. Also, to verify this, you can go to your My Files folder, and you will also notice a titanium backup folder filled with backup information for other applications that you just backed up. So, once you have gotten that completed, you can go ahead and prepare to do whatever you're going to do, and we'll catch back up on the restore applications process in just a moment. Okay, well, we've done our major changes. We've flashed back to stock from Froyo 2.2 to the original JF6 ROM out of the box. We'll notice that we don't have any applications currently installed at all, as mentioned before. Go ahead and grab a titanium backup from the market. I do recommend the Pro version for this particular step, as it really cuts down time. Once you have that installed, we'll go ahead and catch up with you on the next slide. Now that we have titanium backup installed, we can open the application. If you did perform a flashback to stock such as I did, you will need to root the device before you can use titanium backup. To do that, simply view my video on rooting Samsung Captivate 2.1 or 2.2. There's two different videos that will easily show you how to root the phone. Once you've completed rooting the phone, we can go back to our application for titanium backup. We'll get our same type of info that we got before. Depending on the version, you may not get the original system info for the devices and drives. But we want to go to Backup and Restore tab once again, and we want to click the Settings button at the bottom, click Batch, and we're going to look at our restore options. We can restore missing apps with data, we can restore missing apps plus all system data, we can restore newer versions of all apps, or we can restore all apps with data. We want to restore missing apps with data. Anytime you switch to a different ROM, you really should try to avoid restoring all system data unless the ROM is identical to what you backed up from. The reason we backed up from that is in case you want to revert to that exact ROM and you know you want to restore absolutely everything. For the most part, it's easy to recreate your Wi-Fi settings and your Bluetooth pairings because the consequence of a failed restore on system data would be continuous force closes, and you'd pretty much have to flash back anyway. So it's highly recommended you simply restore the apps instead of system data. We backed it all up just in case we wanted to reflash back, and it doesn't hurt to have it all. So we're going to choose restore missing apps with data. Run that. We'll see all the applications it's going to restore. Keep in mind that we didn't have things such as voltage control and speed test and ROM manager and LinPack. All those things are going to be there. So we're going to run the operation. It's going to restore all the apps. This actually won't take too long since we don't have many applications at all. So we'll wait on that. Okay, the batch restore is finished for us. Now before you go looking for all your apps and launching them, it's highly recommended that you reboot the phone. They may not all show up, and that's because some applications need to be present at boot. So go ahead and turn off the phone and turn it back on. We're going to let you do that at this time, and once the phone's back up, we'll take a look and make sure all of our applications are present. Okay, once your phone's rebooted, we can go ahead and unlock, and if your media scanner is still running, it may need to finish. Ours just completed. We can take a look at all the apps that we got back, such as ROM Manager, Quadrant Standard, LinPack, and we can see that they're all there. If you made changes in those apps, you'll notice that the app data has also been restored. We don't happen to have any that we've made changes to on this device, but you will notice that on applications such as games, specific setting applications like email applications, things like that will now be restored. So that's how you restore applications using titanium backup. I do appreciate you for stopping by. Feel free to check out any of the other videos on the channel. Feel free to check out xtadevelopers.com. And as always, good luck.